So, hi everyone, welcome to another session of the Global Pakistan Tech Summit. Today we're live with someone who runs a very large organization, IT organization in Pakistan. So, my name is Azish Azam. I run Ijad Labs and Startup Kind, and we help build the startup and tech ecosystem in the country. Today is my honor to invite on this virtual stage Mujeeb Zahur. He currently leads S&P Global's operations in Pakistan. He has more than 9 years of experience at this company, right? And S&P Global, he looks after not just Pakistan but the Philippines and Argentina as well. So we'll talk more about the amazing work that Mujeeb is doing. Thank you, Mujeeb, for joining us.
Thank you, Azish. Pleasure to be here.
So we understand that these are unprecedented times, and I think I'll start my first question from there as well. How is the S&P team holding up, and how have you seen the change in terms of working
Yeah.
remotely?
Yeah. No, thank you, Azish. As you said, I think we live in very interesting times. The whole world is going through a situation that is unprecedented. I don't. While a lot of organizations similar to ours spent a lot of time planning for business continuity, had documents, were doing tabletop exercises. Nothing would have prepared anyone for this. Because typically, just to give you a very brief background,
Yeah.
typically a lot of organizations have redundancy in their operations, similar to, and we had done so as well. We had redundancy globally, as you said in your introduction. I look after our operations in Philippines and Argentina. We have a large portion of our employee base in India as well. तो उसमें we have about 1,500 employees in Pakistan, about close to 800-900 in the Philippines, about 300 in Argentina, and then about 3,000 roughly in 3 to 4,000 roughly in India. And so typically under normal circumstances, if there is a natural disaster or a political one, or which Pakistan and other countries get from time to time. So usme to it was very simple. You could give one team off, or one location off, and the other location would pick up their work. Our workflow tools were already all almost cloud based, so that the transfer of work was very seamless. This situation where this was impacting everybody and everybody was getting impacted pretty much at the same time. So we had to do something that was obviously unprecedented. As I said earlier, all our employee base in Pakistan, if I talk about specifically, as well as every other, with the exception of China now, every other location is working from home. Pakistan mein, our challenge was that we had almost 60% of our workforce had desktops. So we had to move very quickly and be able to give them, we facilitated them to shipping their desktops home. So thankfully, the good thing that we did, like I'm sure a lot of other organizations, we were proactive about it. We didn't wait for the government to come and put in restrictions. A week or maybe 3-4 days before that, we were able to complete our exercise of moving all our people to work from home. And it's been super successful. We were a little concerned, frankly, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान में the use case of effective internet domestically in residential areas is a little challenging. Lekin our people, I think, did exceptionally well in adjusting to those circumstances. We obviously provided them support through whatever means we could, investing in giving them the right equipment, providing them the right environment. I'll talk a little bit more about some special. So in summary, I think it was the resilience of the people, first of all, their commitment to make sure that they deliver what our clients need, which is something that we embed in our culture right from the beginning, whether it's a pandemic situation or not. That's immensely helpful. And The second thing was, I think, the organization's relentless ability to put its people first, because we realized that the health and safety of our people had to be our number one priority if we wanted to keep delivering what we commit to our clients. So I'll stop there. I think these two things formed the bedrock of what our response to this particular situation was. Alhamdulillah, we've not had any productivity losses. We've done 3 product releases over the last 3 months, multiple usual releases that go on weekly. We've not missed on any milestone. We've not missed out on any performance management components. So nothing has been kept on hold as a result of us moving to work from home, which just speaks, I think, to the brilliance and hard work of our people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before I dig deep on your work and your amazing work at S&P, I would love to give the audience an insight on your personal journey, right? So if you can talk a little bit about where did you grow up, what were
Yeah.
your, how did your early days look like, your early education. I'm assuming you're from Islamabad, but you can tell more.
That's a correct assumption. I've lived pretty much all my life in Islamabad. So my dad used to work for the Foreign Office earlier, and then a couple of other government offices. So he used to move around a lot. Thankfully, a significant part of his moving around happened before I was born. So when I was 3, 4 years old, we moved to Hong Kong. We lived there for like 4, 5 years, 5 years, I think 6 years. And so I did maybe my grade 1 and 2 there, but then we came back to Pakistan, I think in 1988 or 89. And since then, I've always lived in Islamabad. I basically belong to this place called Kamalia near Faisalabad. Kamalia ka khaddar bada mashhoor hai. People, that's how
बिल्कुल
people
बिल्कुल
know it sometimes.
बिल्कुल
But that's where I belong to. That's my ancestral village. I go there at least once a year. Uh, but I've lived all my life in Islamabad. I did all my education in Islamabad. I went to primary school in this federal government school in I-8 where I lived. Then I went to Islamabad College for Boys, G63, for my further studies. I did my secondary school, high school from there as well, and then I went to I did my a lot of people find it a little satirical and funny, especially my friends. I did my bachelor's of science in computer sciences from ComSats. We were amongst the first batch of that particular, what is now ComSats University. At that time, it used to be the ComSats Institute of Information Technology. और वो शुरू हुआ था 2000 sorry 1999 में. In F5 sector, there was this, it didn't even look like a building from outside. It was in the basement, just 2 rooms. That's where it started. But that's what I've done. Afterwards, I did once I completed my bachelor's of science, or sort of semi completed it because I started working while I was studying. And so I did a couple of other things on top of that from other universities abroad and locally. But all of my foundational education was in the same education system that we have in our country. And as I was saying, I
Wow,
started working. I was in my last semester. I remember I still had to submit my final year project. Got an opportunity to work for this. I met this guy. His name was Russ Sandlin. He and Tom Sloan, who was opening up a startup in Islamabad in the BPO sector. It was called Touchstone Communications. So I joined it with the full intent. घर में भी मैंने ये बताया था कि यार I will do this for a year tops, maybe 18 months. I just want to take a break from studies, and I will sort of go back and I'll study further. Uh, and 19 years have almost 18 years have gone by. that time didn't come back for me going back to study. Uh, but that's sort of a little bit about the beginning of my education, and it was all here.
Well, that's a fantastic story because the past three interviews that I've done, I think all of them have said that they used to move a lot in their childhood because the parents were in army or in
Ji,
government service, but that moving a lot taught them a lot of things as well, right? And with this, I'd love to jump to my next question, which you slightly covered your first work experience, right? Which you started right out
yeah.
of college, right? For so आजकल अगर हम देखें तो I think यूनिवर्सिटी स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट वेरी क्लियर कि यार बाहर निकल के करना क्या है, बट यू वर सो क्लियर कि आपने यूनिवर्सिटी के बीच में ही लास्ट कुछ शुरू कर दिया. So
Ji.
how did your first work experiences pan out, and if we can cover that journey to where
Ji.
you are right now at S&P.
Ji. So I'll talk. I'll try to be not too verbose about it. So when I started studying, obviously at that time everybody and their grandmother was doing computer sciences. That was the thing. I thought I liked it as well, and it's not that I don't. I enjoyed studying, but I was not the smartest of all coders that you will find out there. Let's just put it that way. I was okay, but I wasn't, and I figured that out maybe a couple of years in. But as a subject matter, I still really liked it, and I've always found it to be super helpful. If you allow me just to deviate a little bit, something I want to address is, and I talk to this a lot about whenever I go out now in my current role and speak to university students, either in Pakistan or elsewhere, because this is not a Pakistan only problem. ये globally थोड़ा सा इसकी tendency है, and that is people tend to study what will find them a job and then pick a career based on what their friends are suggesting, what their parents are suggesting. Whereas if you look at really what you should study is what you like studying, and then you should go work in an area or in a role that you enjoy and you feel passionate for. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप एक ही आपकी एब्सोल्यूट अलाइनमेंट हो इन सब चीज़ों में. हमारे यहाँ एक बंदे ने अगर एमबीए कर लिया फाइनेंस में, तो उस ये डिफॉल्ट सेटिंग होती है कि जी आई हैव टू ईदर गो वर्क फॉर अ बैंक और एन अकाउंटिंग और सम सॉर्ट ऑफ अ फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन, and then only my dead body can come out of that industry, otherwise I cannot traverse and move out. Whereas again, if you really look at it, even in our organization, we have people running, data teams, people with English literature degrees, people running technology teams with economic majors, economics in terms of majors of their studies. Globally, you will find people with very diversified backgrounds. Somebody who I consider, an aspiration for myself and an inspiration, Mike Chen, who used to be our CEO at SNL earlier. He, he had done his majors in economics and was leading a data company without any per se management degree, so as to speak. Countless other examples of people who've done. So ये I think default पे ये बना लेना कि यार हमारा what I study has to be socially and culturally appropriate, and then I have to go find a field की job. ये मेरे field की नौकरी नहीं है. ये थोड़ा सा मेरे ख्याल में, so that struggle, and I won't be naive to suggest कि मुझे शुरू से idea था, मेरा भी शायद mindset ऐसा ही था. But what changed it for me was I think a year into my studies, I got an opportunity to go intern at this company called Align Technologies. Zia Chishti from TRG, now TRG currently, had established it. It was at that time one of the largest outsourced captive offices in Pakistan. It had about 800 employees. It was based in Lahore. So I went there for an internship. Typically internship जिस तरह हमारे यहाँ होती है, मेरे ज़हन में भी वही था. लोगों से सुना था कि जी बस आप जाते हैं, आप फोटोकॉपी करते हैं और आप उसके बाद आप वापस आ जाते हैं और आप एक रिपोर्ट लिखते हैं, एंड देन यू डन. Fortunately or unfortunately, when I went there, so they gave me a project because I was a computer science graduate. They gave me a project to work on an employee information management system. They already had one. They just wanted to clean up the database, etc. So fortunately or unfortunately, I had some friends who were really really good at doing that stuff. So I spoke with them, got some tips from them, did a little bit of work myself. Long story short, I was able to complete that within like a couple of weeks. एंड देन दे वर लाइक, यार हमने तो आपके लिए ये प्रोजेक्ट सोचा था कि 8 हफ्ते आप ये करेंगे, अब आपने जल्दी कर लिया तो आप क्या करें आपके साथ. मैं कहा जी आप ऐसा करें, व्हाई डोंट यू सेंड मी टू वर्क विद डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स, सिंस आई एम हियर. I sat around for like a couple of days doing nothing, just doodling with my thumbs. And I was like, why don't you just send me to other departments? I'll just sit with them, see what they're doing. It'll give me some exposure. So they were flexible enough to agree with that, and I think that was the tipping point. I went around and I spent time with different segments: their product management area, their customer support area, their technology area, how how their supply chain basically works, all of that. And that really, especially the customer support, which was a major component of their business and their product, was immensely helpful. And that's where I think I found कि यार ये मजे का काम है. I did that. I ended up being there for almost 16 weeks. I liked, and I picked up small projects there, here and there. And again, sort of fast forward. So I came back, continued studying. Fast forward to 2003, as I mentioned, I was approached. I had even written like a small research paper. वो भी कहीं शायद मिल जाए किसी को. On sort of how customer relationship management plays a role, etc., etc. So I got the opportunity to work at Touchstone. I was amongst the first 20 people that were hired. And as I said, keep in mind, उस वक्त मेरी इंटेंट 100% ये थी कि मैं साल 1.5 साल ये काम करूंगा, उसके बाद I'll go back and I'll study further. But once I joined, it was it was very intense. The people who were listening, उनमें से वो लोग जो खुद या तो स्टार्टअप में काम करते हैं, स्टार्टअप चलाते हैं, ओन करते हैं, या किसी स्टार्टअप में काम करते हैं, उनको आइडिया होगा कि there you don't really have these compartmentalized job descriptions. You're doing everything. So like a lot of people who start off their career, I started off being on the phone, providing support, responding to emails, also fixing cables, also doing reports, staying up. Again, at that time, work-life balance wasn't really neither a priority nor really a need. You have the passion at the start of your career to spend 12, 13, 14 hours at work and do all of these different things. So so again, the point that I wanted to make, I started off doing the entry-level job that anybody would do. After about a month or 2 months, we added more people, and they were looking for leadership roles. So me and 3 of my colleagues, they were promoted to become team leads. So, and also just to everybody, interesting anecdote, थोड़ी सी information के लिए, मेरी पहली तनख्वाह was 12,000 रुपया. And at that time, it was, as if it was, I still remember it was extremely satisfying. But anyways, so we got promoted. I thought कि चलें अच्छा ये भी 1 महीने बाद promotion होगी. Everybody was sort of, some people were making fun कि यार ये तो बड़ा अच्छा है, पता नहीं कैसी कंपनी में काम कर रहे हो जिसमें 1 महीने बाद promotion हो जाती है. वैसे तो नहीं होता. But we continued working. उस दौरान, for those of us who are from that era will remember कि पाकिस्तान में 2003-4 में एक बड़ा major केबल कट हुआ था इंटरनेट का. 15-20 दिन के लिए हमारी केबल, हमारा इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी was down. So that was a very troubling time for a startup. कि हम क्या करें. So that was my first the reason I'm mentioning it is that was my first exposure of sort of crisis management. कि आपने अब you're done. How do you serve your clients? There's this new company, we're starting up, we're signing up new clients, we've just started delivering to them. It's been less than 6 months, and now we have to go get on the phone and tell them कि भाई इंटरनेट नहीं है हमारे पास, तो अब क्या करें हम. So we started approaching the government, the ministry, and sort of tried to find workarounds, satellite backups, etc., etc. Uh, Again, long story short, after maybe a couple of more months, we had a change in management, and this new person came in as the general manager. And he came in and said, "Ke bhai, I don't know the previous guy what he did or why he promoted anyone. Uh, I will start from scratch. All of you go back to doing what you were doing earlier." ठीक है, तो हम चारों को उसने कहा कि यार आप लोग ठीक है, बड़े अच्छे होंगे टीम लीड, आप वापस जाएं और वही काम करें जो पहले कर रहे थे, और फिर मैं देखूंगा कि आपको दोबारा बनाना चाहिए इस रोल में या नहीं. सो we basically went back, and all of us had slightly additional responsibilities. We were doing certain other things. So again, the point I want to make on that is, within the first and this continued for another year and a half or so, 2 out of the 4 people that were promoted with me and then put back, they left to do something else, because a lot of people had joined that organization, I think, at that time with the intent कि यार हम थोड़ा सा अर्सा करेंगे फिर कुछ और कर लेंगे. So but the point I wanted to make was, I think during that time I tried being a trainer. I did that for a couple 2-3 months. I tried being in the sort of network area, the IT person, for 3-4 months. I also tried being like a subject matter expert. उस particular workflow में एक subject matter expert का role था, जो individual contributor था लेकिन था subject matter का expert. उसको बैंकिंग ट्रांजैक्शंस का, mortgages का, इन चीज़ों का पता होगा. मैंने वो काम भी किया. That I did for about 6 months actually. And I did all of those, and I also became like a management information system person, basically a reporting person. Excel में बैठ के रिपोर्टें बनाना पूरे दिन की, tools वगैरह को use करके, etc. I also played a 4-month sort of role being a recruiter. So because we were hiring a lot of people, so we needed help there. So I went and did that. The point being that within this 2.5 year window, I was able to do a lot of these within the same job function or within the same primary job role, a lot of these different functions that gave me a very good idea कि यार, what is it that I enjoy doing and what are some things that I'm good at. So it's a combination of those two things. It can't just be what you enjoy doing, because chances हैं कि किसी चीज जो कोई चीज आपको अच्छी लगती हो और आपको करने में मजा भी आता हो, लेकिन you are not good at it. So one should be self-aware to understand that, when to sort of pull back. So at that time is when I picked. When we were looking for managers, by this time we had also grown to become about 200-300 people. 2-250 लोग हैं. So we were onboarding a major account, and they needed somebody to look after that account. The person who was going to run that account, I remember his name was Steve Haslam. He was from this company called Nova Star Mortgage. So he came in and interviewed a bunch of us. I got the opportunity. That was my sort of first management leadership opportunity, to look after an account, look after a team. And then thankfully we got a great team. It was a very, very hardworking, young, energetic group of people. We had a lot of success with that account at its peak in 2008. We almost had 1,100 people in that account. That was one of our core accounts in Touchstone. And throughout this time, I continued growing, became a senior manager, became a director that we had there. Fast forward maybe a year or two, I started managing, and we also had change in leadership during that time. A couple of other people came in and went. I eventually started looking after the 2008. Uh, 2008 was a major year because of the financial crisis that hit the world. As some of you might know, there was a major problem in the U.S. primarily, then spread globally with mortgage companies, bad debts, primarily impacting the financial sector. Almost 80% of our revenue, if not maybe slightly less, was coming from the financial sector. So we saw within a space of a month that reducing by half. Like half of our clients, they were going to go back. They had either gone bankrupt or were about to go bankrupt because of that financial crisis. So we saw firsthand what the impact of something like that can be. So I got the opportunity immediately after that, maybe 2 months after that, to become, I was given the task to lead that particular company as its general manager, and we had, we had to sort of basically transform our entire revenue model, transform sort of how we deploy, retrain people. So that was a good two and a half, 3 year journey that we embarked upon as a leadership team there. Several of my colleagues who played an integral component in setting all of that up together, and finally we were able to get to a point where we were at least self-sustaining. Our dependency on the financial sector had reduced. Uh, Again, the point there is that you have to pivot and be agile in terms of transforming, knowing what your capabilities are, and then moving on to doing something else. 2011 May, I moved to what was SNL at that point. And Muneeb Idris, who now runs Baikia, I think a very familiar face. A green polo shirt and a helmet are something that you see very often. Muneeb, I knew socially earlier. We had met a couple of times. When SNL was setting up in Islamabad in 2005, they had come over to Touchstone to sort of look at the network and how things get put together, etc. So I knew of them. A lot of our people had, it was a small industry. People were going to work, coming from SNL to work at Touchstone, going from Touchstone to work at SNL. So it was, a well-known entity. So 2011, again, I'll spare the details for the audience on how that happened. Lekin 2011 May, I joined SNL. And basically SNL at that time used to be, Muneeb had done a fantastic job, building that business, where he took roles that were being done earlier, either in higher cost locations, and moved them to Islamabad. He was I think for people who might not be familiar, Muneeb used to work for SNL in Charlottesville, Virginia. वहाँ पे उसने, Muneeb being Muneeb, went up to the owner and said कि जी मेरे ख्याल में हम ये काम पाकिस्तान में कर सकते हैं. उसने कहा जी ठीक है, जाओ करके दिखा दो. Muneeb Pakistan आया, set up the office with 5 or 10 people. Some of them still work for us to this day. And whatever we are today is, I think, based on all the great work that Muneeb and that team had done at that point, because they laid such a strong foundation. So, he was running, he run that business for 6 years, grew it to about 350, 360 people. And at that time, when I was brought in, I remember asking people asking people that were hiring me, what's your goal? What do you want to do? And the response I got was that, we obviously SNL had started taking a more active part in the day-to-day running of the business, and we wanted to inculcate strategic thinking in people. We wanted to make sure that they are aligned with the organizational vision. People are thinking about the long-term strategy and how we can grow the team, how can we get different kind of roles here, etc., etc. So that was the ask, uh, changing of the mindset culture, growing the team, having a strong leadership bench. As I said, I was, I think, the 350th or 340th hire in SNL at that time. Uh, and again, as I said earlier, we got an excellent team already. We were able to work together, put together a plan, execute on it successfully for the last almost more than 9 years now. And I think due to that effort and due to the passion and the brilliance of that team, we're able to get to a point where we are close to 1,500 people now. And I think I'm sure we'll get more opportunities to talk about some more specifics. But broadly
Yeah.
speaking, that's, I think, what would sort of encompass what I've done for the last 17, 18 years.
Wow. No, that's a fantastic journey. I think a lot of learning from आपकी जो सारी journey है, especially जो आपने startup वाली बात की कि startup founders can specifically relate on doing a lot of things, right? So, when you're starting up, you're doing
Yeah.
sales and you're strategy and you're doing even
Yep.
making your own website itself. तो काफी ज़्यादा learning भी उसमें होती है. तो इसमें दो तीन मेरे सवाल हैं जो आपकी जर्नी से ही मैंने जरा
जी.
निकाले हैं अभी. तो I'll start with the first one. So you talked about the fiber cut that happened, 2003, 2004, which impacted the BPO industry. But I think the impact was not just in that year, but it followed, Pakistan. So
Yep.
how do you see number one Pakistan in terms of a destination for BPO as compared to Philippines and India?
Yeah.
And then what are the factors that played a role in kind of holding Pakistan's potential back or where we are today in the BPO industry?
Yeah. I think, no, that's a great question. I think we w- I also wear a hat where I'm the vice chairman for Pasha these days.
Yeah.
So, and over the last 3, 4 years, we've played a more integral role in working with the government in enhancing the IT sector of Pakistan, enhancing the exports, working with the government to get the right level of, I won't call them incentives, but the right level of measures in place that provide support to this industry. Please, just for some numbers, Pakistan की total IT exports, if you take the higher end number, जो सबसे ज़्यादा वाला नंबर है, अगर आप वो ले लें, freelancers को भी शामिल कर लें, तो कुछ 4-5 बिलियन बनती हैं. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Several of my friends will disagree and question me on the veracity of the number. I totally get it. मैं कह रहा हूँ assumption के लिए आप वो ले लें सबसे higher end वाला number. ठीक है? तो by comparison, जिन countries की आपने और जो destinations हैं उनकी अगर आप बात, Philippines is about 30 billion, उसमें से 25-26 billion primarily BPO का है सिर्फ. The entire BPO market globally is close to 150-160 billion. ठीक है, दैट्स द ग्लोबल पाई ऑफ इट. उसमें से इंडिया का बहुत बड़ा चंक है, तकरीबन 80-90-100 बिलियन का, सिर्फ प्राइमरीली बीपीओ शेयर्ड सर्विसेज की बात कर रहा हूँ. टेक्नोलॉजी और सर्विसेज और प्रोडक्ट उसमें नहीं जा रहा. तो मार्केट तो बहुत ज़्यादा है. हमारा, आपने चैलेंज की बात की, देखें सबसे पहले वही 2003 की आप बात कर लें, उस वक्त इंडिया में, फिलीपींस में, और अब तो और कंट्रीज भी आ गई हैं, ईस्टर्न यूरोप में पोलैंड है, लिथुआनिया है, जिन्होंने in less than 5-6 years have grown to 5-8-10 billion dollars just from BPO and shared services. अब उन्होंने, आई मीन अगेन, हमारी हमेशा गवर्नमेंट से और सेक्टर्स के साथ बातचीत में हमारी हमेशा ये कोशिश रही है कि हम उनको ये बताएंगे, जी वी डोंट हैव टू रीइन्वेंट द व्हील. हमने कोई नई फॉर्मूला नहीं बनाना. फॉर्मूला बड़ा सिंपल सा है जो सब कंट्रीज ने यूज किया. ठीक है. पाकिस्तान का एडवांटेज क्या है? पाकिस्तान का एडवांटेज ये है कि हमारे पास, you in any I mean, our setup is not really a BPO setup. We don't really have, look, it's not an outsourced operation. It's run by S&P Global itself globally. So we don't have these competitions between different territories. तो इसलिए मैं वो शायद आपको एग्जांपल ना दे सकूं, but I know of friends and colleagues who run businesses, who run who have outsourced work from, let's say, Merrill Lynch, has 300 people in Pakistan, 800 people in the Philippines. The people in Pakistan perform better. Our English speaking ability is better. We Our work ethic is also fairly strong. So talent is our strength, number one. Number two, cost may, because Philippines has matured in their model, in terms of cost, Philippines is higher. So is India. Major tier one locations हैं Gurgaon, Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai. Those are all significantly higher cost as compared to tier one locations in Pakistan, like Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi. टीयर टू में तो मैं जा नहीं रहा अभी, टीयर टू तो मजीद नीचे आ जाएगा. तो
ठीक है.
ये दो एडवांटेजेस हैं हमारे पास. हमारा डिसएडवांटेज क्या है, या व्हाट आर द एरियाज वेयर वी लूज पॉइंट्स? नंबर वन, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्पेस. अब तो मेरे ख्याल में अगर लोग सुन रहे हैं यहाँ पर, तो हमारी छेड़ ही बन गई है कि हम पिछले 3 साल से अपने लिए जगह ढूंढ रहे थे. हमें, we S&P Global couldn't find, we needed about 150,000 square foot of space, we couldn't find it. There is not, whereas I also look after Philippines, it took us 2 weeks to find, negotiate, close the deal.
Wow.
That's the difference in the market. Same in India. India, we were looking for almost 500,000 square foot of space, and we found it in less than 2 weeks.
Amazing.
So infrastructure, internet connectivity, internet की bandwidth, commercial internet. Pakistan has one of the most expensive commercial internet rates in the region. Philippines is cheaper than us, India is cheaper than us, Bangladesh is cheaper than us. Commercial internet mein, we have still, while the government has done an amazing job in extending and doing all of that, it still is significantly lower. I'm sorry, मैं एक एडवांटेज में एक और चीज ऐड कर दूं, बिकॉज अगेन वी आर स्टार्टिंग अप लेट. तो जो इंसेंटिव्स फिलीपींस और इंडिया वगैरह आज से 10 साल पहले दे रहे थे, हमने अब वो दिए हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, टैक्स हॉलिडे है पाकिस्तान में फॉर आईटी कंपनीज टिल 2025 जो एक्सपोर्ट कर रही हैं. ठीक है, उस जो एडवांटेज है अभी हमारा. तो ये 3 हमारे एडवांटेजेस हो गए. डिसएडवांटेजेस में पहला, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, बोथ टेक्नोलॉजी वाइज और स्पेस और यूटिलिटीज, अनइंटरप्टेड पावर सप्लाई नहीं है. और इन सब के, मैंने जिस तरह पहले अर्ज किया, इन सब के हल मौजूद हैं. इंडिया में, फिलीपींस में, पोलैंड में, लिथुआनिया में उन्होंने क्या किया है, उन्होंने स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन्स बना दिए.
ठीक है.
बिल्डर्स के लिए भी इंसेंटिव, उसमें गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ नहीं करना है, कोई गवर्नमेंट का पैसा नहीं लग रहा है उसमें. वो एक फ्रेमवर्क है. आप फॉर एग्जांपल कहें कि जी, लेट्स से, मैं इस्लामाबाद की एग्जांपल लेता हूँ. सेक्टर H10-3 जो है वो स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन होगा. इसमें जो बिल्डर बिल्डिंग बनाएगा उसको 10 साल के लिए टैक्स नहीं देना, उसकी बिजली पे टैक्स नहीं हो. आप कोई फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ इंसेंटिव्स ले आए, आपका बिल्डर की कॉस्ट कम हो गई, कंपनी, बिल्डर वहां पे बिल्डिंग बनाएगा, कंपनीज वहां पर जाएंगी, और आप इंश्योर करेंगे जी वहां पे अनइंटरप्टेड पावर सप्लाई होगी, हाई स्पीड इंटरनेट आएगा. That's all that has to be done. That's what every one of these countries has done. So, मैं जो आपको इंडिया की एग्जांपल दे रहा था, our office in Hyderabad in India is in the same building where Google has almost 2 million square foot of space. Plans to hire about 40,000 people there. So does Deloitte. And the reason only is they have great talent. We also have great talent. It's the ease with which they can set up the operation. The government has set up an authority both in the Philippines, in Poland, in Lithuania, in India. You don't have to go talk to 5 people. You have to go talk to one person in that authority, and they will handle, there's like your business partners, they will handle all regulatory requirements. आपको FBR के पास नहीं जाना, आपको PTA के पास नहीं जाना, आपको किसी के पास नहीं जाना. आपने एक बंदे से बात करनी है, क्विक टर्न अराउंड टाइम, एवरीथिंग इज ऑनलाइन ट्रैक्ड. और देखिए, मैं रीजन एग्जांपल दे रहा था, चलें लिथुआनिया और पोलैंड को छोड़ दें, आप वो यूरोप में आते हैं. जो हमारे दोस्त और अटेंडीज इंडिया गए हुए हैं या फिलीपींस गए हुए हैं, सोशो इकोनॉमिकली, पॉलिटिकली बहुत चीजें मिलती जुलती हैं हमारी. उतनी ही करप्शन, उतनी ही इनएफिशिएंसी, उतनी ही कॉम्पिटेंस लेवल्स इन सब जगहों पर हैं. So no reason why we can't do that. But before I turn this into a completely murky situation, coming back, I think even within this environment, I think our companies have done a fantastic job. If you see the growth, I just was in this pandemic situation because of our resilience, because of our in an environment where other countries were really locked down. Our companies were able to win business. We have I know of I don't think it's appropriate to take names, but there are companies who've earned business which is coming from either India or Poland or Philippines as a result of the advantages that I shared: their talent, their cost, and their adherence to quality work. As long as we keep doing these three things, we will continue to, I think, get the advantage. एक बहुत बड़ा एरिया जिस पे हम गवर्नमेंट को पुश भी कर रहे हैं फ्रॉम द पाशा प्लेटफॉर्म, फ्रॉम द आईटी टास्क फोर्स प्लेटफॉर्म, from individual stakeholders like myself or Asif Peer or Nasir Akhtar or Shehzad or Sayyid Ahmed or Barkan, who's done a lot of work on this, and several others. What Nadeem Elahi from TRG as well, Abbas Ali Khan from Abacus, all of us have done a lot of work and really emphasized. आज अगर एक कंपनी ने, और मैं सॉरी टाइम अगर है हमारे पास तो मैं 2 मिनट की एक स्टोरी शेयर करूं जो कि मेरे ख्याल है बिल्कुल सम अप कर देगी सिचुएशन को. हमारा जो बहुत बड़ा एक वीक या इम्प्रूवमेंट का एरिया है वो ये है कि अगर आज किसी कंपनी ने, लेट्स से लुफ्थांजा, और ये दिस इज अ रियल स्टोरी, अबाउट 5-6 years ago they wanted to go look for a destination where they want to outsource. ठीक है. So when any company wants to do that, they go to these McKinseys or Gartners or Hackett groups or somebody to find them कि यार हम कहाँ पे अपने ये बैक ऑफिस खोलें अपना. ठीक है. तो ऐसी कोई भी जो हमारी ये कंसल्टेंसीज हैं या मार्केटिंग है ना हमारी, इसमें हमारा डेटा नहीं आता. नॉट एंड व्हाट वी आर पुशिंग फॉर. इसकी कॉस्ट क्या है? पूरी एक्सरसाइज पे कोई 5 से 6 लाख डॉलर लगेंगे आपके. ठीक है. जिसमें वो कंपनी आपकी एक करंट स्टेट भी बनाएगी, उसको अपनी रिपोर्ट का हिस्सा भी बनाएगी और आपको एडवोकेट भी करेगी. दे कमिट यूजुअली कि जी हम आपको कम से कम 4 अपॉर्चुनिटी, 4 पिचेस देंगे. उनकी यूजुअली कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में होता है वी विल गिव यू 4 पिचेस. पिच के बाद आप वो बिजनेस लेते हैं नहीं लेते एज अ कंट्री, दैट्स अप टू यू. तो मैं जो एग्जांपल आपको देने लगा था ना लुफ्तांजा की, उन्होंने इसी तरह की एक कंपनी के साथ एंगेजमेंट की और Lufthansa wanted to open up about 2,000 people, and when they heard about it, they also felt कि जी लिथुआनिया कौन जाएगा, इंडिया में दे दें आप हमें. तो उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं जी आप जाके देखें. So they became part of that. They went to Lithuania, experienced the government, supported their minister, came and sort of met with them. Again, long story short, they were able to overcome their lack of size, their lack of experience, their lack of track record by 2 things: superior infrastructure and superior intent. जब लुफ्थांजा के सीनियर एग्जीक्यूटिव्स ने देखा कि यार यहाँ पे तो गवर्नमेंट का बंदा मिल रहा है, हमसे आके हमारी कितनी वैल्यू करेंगे ये लोग, तो हम भी उस तरह के एक स्ट्रक्चर को यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं. तो जो आखिरी में डिसएडवांटेज की या एरिया ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट की बात कर रहा था, it is imperative that we become part of and we engage with such a global body that puts us on the map, ताकि जब कोई बड़ी कंपनी देखे कि यार मुझे अपना सर्विस या प्रोडक्ट, और ये टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए भी जरूरी है, ये सिर्फ बीपीओ के लिए नहीं है. हमारी अमेजिंग कैपेबिलिटीज हैं ऑन द प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विसेज साइड, अमेजिंग कैपेबिलिटीज. कंपनीज आर डूइंग फैंटास्टिक वर्क. Does the world really know about it? Perhaps no. So बजाय इसके कि हम खुद करें, why do we have to do it ourselves? There are already entities out there that do it for a living. They have expertise in this. हम उनको engage कर सकते हैं, हम उनको इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं to showcase and propagate. And this is, as I said, this is one of the 3 strategic pillars that the current Pasha leadership team is focusing on. उसमें पहला हमारा है a Make in Pakistan initiative. हम इंसिस्ट कर रहे हैं गवर्नमेंट से कि आप कम से कम जो गवर्नमेंट के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स हैं वो तो आप एक लोकल कंपनीज को देना टेक्नोलॉजी की, वो क्यों नहीं हम देते, इज अगेन अ सेपरेट मे बी टॉपिक ऑफ डिस्कशन. नंबर 2 इज एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑफ स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन्स, जो मैंने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात की. और नंबर 3 इज अ रोबस्ट मैकेनिज्म फॉर marketing and telling the story of capabilities of Pakistan, which is going to happen through a partnership with a global consulting company that can put you in front of people, that can put you in front of clients. आज तो हम या तो ऐसा होना कि जी हमारे लोग जा रहे हो 10 क्लाइंट्स को पिच कर रहे हैं और वो कह रहे हो नहीं जी हमने पाकिस्तान को बिजनेस नहीं देना, ऐसा नहीं हो रहा. When we go and pitch, we win. The problem is we just need to increase the number of pitches that we do. Sorry for the passionate long answer, but as you can tell, I'm very invested in this idea.
Absolutely, and thank you कि आपने सारी इतनी insights share की. So I'll just add briefly कि over the past 3 years, our organization has run the largest IT delegations to North America, to Silicon Valley, to Europe. We took 46 people to Norway. Some of Pasha people as well. Zohair was
Yep.
there, Shamim
दीदी
was
जोहेर साहब
there.
जाते रहे आपके साथ, बिल्कुल.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. So I totally agree that the potential is there, the respect is there when we go and talk to people who listen to Pakistan. And if I can share a brief story, तो मैं सिलिकन वैली में कुछ पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन से बात कर रहा था कि यार पाकिस्तानी टेक टैलेंट को प्रमोट करना चाहिए. तो उन्होंने एग्जांपल दी कि एक दोस्त ने को 25 लोगों की टीम हायर करनी थी. तो मे बी पोलैंड या सम अदर टाइनी कंट्री, आई डोंट इवन रिमेंबर द नेम. ही सेड कि उनका एक यहाँ ऑफिस है विच डज दिस. तो उनका बंदा आया, उसने विजिट किया, उसने कहा हाँ ठीक है हम आपको टैलेंट भी ढूंढ देंगे, उधर ऑफिस भी बना देंगे, सारा कुछ करते हैं, तो आप
जी.
विजिट कर लो. और वो विजिट करने गया, वहाँ मीटिंग हुई, तो पहले तो उसने 5 लोग हायर किए, तो टोटल 25 लोग हायर करने थे, पहले 5 हायर किए. और उसने कहा जी हाँ ये एक डिनर शेनर आपका करते हैं. तो उसने कहा कि अच्छा मुझसे आप मिले हुए हैं, मैं सिलिकन वैली में रिप्रेजेंट करता हूँ. और एक बंदा और था, तो उसने कहा ये प्रेसिडेंट है इस कंट्री के. तो प्रेसिडेंट ने कहा कि देखिए जी आप हमारे मुल्क में रोजी ला रहे हैं, लाइवलीहुड ला रहे हैं, तो if there's anything we can do, this is my direct number, right? So that's the kind of commitment, and this is
Exactly.
maybe tiny country in Europe talking about 25 people, right? And maybe Pakistan is missing out on hundreds and hundreds of potential job opportunities, right?
थोड़ा
और
सा
यहाँ यहाँ
पॉलिटिकल हो जाएगा. मैं इसलिए वो स्टोरी, मेरे पास भी इस तरह की स्टोरी है जिसमें मुलाकात नहीं हुई लेकिन वो पॉलिटिकल हो जाएगा, इसलिए रहने दें उसको. मेरे ख्याल
नहीं
में
नहीं बिल्कुल. तो
हमारे यहाँ
इसमें इसमें
हमारे यहाँ डैम फंड के लिए पैसे मांगे जाते हैं कि जी आपके सीईओ ने मिलना है अगर ना, या सीएफओ ने मिलना है अगर, तो उन्हें कहें डैम फंड के पैसे ले आए, मुलाकात हो जाएगी. बट खैर लेट्स नॉट गो देयर.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. So I think with the thing we all agree on कि collectively we need to do more lobbying maybe and get more serious stakeholders in the government, right? तो
जी जी
जब
जी.
ज़्यादा लोगों को समझ आएगी तो बातों की हद तक तो शायद बहुत लोगों को समझ आए कि IT is priority, but we need to make it like translate it into action, right? So for example, just adding on कि the policies that were taken in place to promote textile export, right? We don't see the same level of commitment for the IT
Right.
industry,
And
which is
and uh,
not.
and also, and also just let me be, to give credit where there is due. I think
Yeah,
there we see intent, we see some steps taken. The establishment of NICs gives a great framework and infrastructure to startups. The focus with the special advisor to the Prime Minister on digital Pakistan. Again, those are the right ingredients. We need to sort of start इंग्रेडिएंट्स अपने ओन पे जितने मर्जी अच्छे हों, जितने मर्जी ऑर्गेनिक हों, जितने मर्जी राइप हों, जब तक आप उन इंग्रेडिएंट्स को किसी रेसिपी के अंदर इकट्ठा नहीं करेंगे, यू विल नॉट गेट एनीथिंग आउट ऑफ इट. ठीक है,
बिल्कुल. I
कच्चे
totally agree.
कच्चे आलू खा सकते हैं आप, लेकिन अगर आपने उनको यू गेट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग.
Absolutely. So I have like 2 3 more questions. I know we're a bit
जी जी
close to our time, and this has been amazing a conversation. So you witnessed the 2008 financial crisis, right? And आप जो कोरोना वाला सारा crisis है वो भी देख रहे हैं. So in comparison, how big of an issue is this COVID-19 thing for for maybe companies like S&P, the IT industry, but also for the world economy?
I think there's no question, and we're a data company. We've published data on this, and I'll do a quick marketing plug as well. अगर आपको इसके बारे में मजीद इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, you visit हमारी वेबसाइट पे चले जाएं, किसी भी और डेटा कंपनी की वेबसाइट पे चले जाएं, you'll find tons of data. There's no two ways there will be impact on the global economy. GDP is going to shrink. Our latest number is the shrinkage is going to be anywhere between 6 to 7% in the world economy, and
Yeah.
for some countries it will be higher. Pakistan ki projection I think is -1%. Uh, India, the growth rate was 6-7%. It's going to come down to about 3%. The US is going to get impacted as a result of this as well. I think the key thing there is businesses, जो मैंने शुरू में भी शायद थोड़ी सी टच करने की कोशिश की थी, businesses that will have the agility to transform, to offer, to develop new skills and offer different and cater to varying and changing needs of their clients, I think will continue to evolve and continue to thrive. Because it's, eventually Q3 के end पे, Q4 में, Q1 2021 में businesses are going to start coming back. तो अगर आपके बिजनेस में करंटली वो एजिलिटी है, वो और ये मैंने एक और हमारा पाशा के प्लेटफॉर्म से हम सेशन कर रहे थे यही कोविड सिचुएशन पे, देखें हमें मेरा मकसद कतन क्रिटिसाइज करना या कॉल आउट करना नहीं है लोगों को, लेकिन जो बिहेवियर वी हैव टू बी ऑनेस्ट टू आवरसेल्व्स ना, हमारे बिजनेसेस ने, स्मॉल बिजनेसेस ने आजकल देखें आपको 4 बंदों की टीम नहीं हायर करनी टू मेक अ बीसीपी प्लान. You go online, do a quick search, you will find it takes effort. It requires man hours and a little bit of investment. Little bit of investment. अगर आप एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की सक्सेसफुल क्लोजिंग से V8 नहीं लेंगे और एक बीसीपी टूल में इन्वेस्ट कर देंगे तो वो आपका फायदा होगा. तो ये थोड़ा सा माइंडसेट का देखें, मैं नहीं कह रहा कि बहुत ज्यादा, लेकिन ये माइंडसेट है हमारे यहाँ. और अगर हम इन कंपोनेंट्स पे इन्वेस्ट हमने किया हो तो हमें इस तरह की सिचुएशन में, जो आगे भी हो सकती है, इस तरह की सिचुएशन में से गुजरने में बहुत आसानी होगी. बट आई मीन, टू गोइंग बैक टू योर क्वेश्चन, I think there is documented impact on the economy, but the way out for, at the same time, it's opportunity for us as well. As I gave you the example, there are companies who are specifically increasing their business as a result of this particular opportunity. Pasha did a survey. हम उसका एक second round भी कर रहे हैं अभी. हमने ये अप्रैल में किया था पहले. उसके हिसाब से तकरीबन 60% कंपनीज ने कहा था कि अगले 6 से 12 महीने में उनको लगता है कि नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट होगा उनके रेवेन्यूज में, बिकॉज ऑफ देयर क्लाइंट्स बीइंग इन द यूएस एंड यूरोप प्राइमरीली. we're trying to do another one so that we get updated numbers. But as I said, उसी सर्वे में बहुत से लोगों ने ये भी कहा कि जी अपॉर्चुनिटी भी नजर आती है हमें, लेकिन it was April, it was very early, uncertainty बहुत ज्यादा थी. अब मेरे ख्याल थोड़ा सा the world is returning a little bit to the new normal, and in that I think there will definitely be a lot of opportunity. फाउंडेशनल कैपेबिलिटी क्या है? जो लोग मेरे ख्याल में, जब हम पहले भी इस पेंडेमिक से पहले भी हम बात कर रहे थे ऑफ द वर्ल्ड चेंजिंग, द फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन, jobs changing, roles changing, products and services changing. I think that's the same narrative. This is just going to maybe expedite it a little bit, right? So organizations and people that refuse to adapt, change, be agile in terms of their mindset and skills, they will be the ones most impacted as a result of this crisis as well.
Absolutely. And to just add to your point, जिस पे आपने वो SMEs वाला mention किया, so we work with a lot of SMEs, especially in the IT sector, and I think the difference between, for example, a 70 people software company and RBSoft, which is, I don't know, 500 people now, is in a lot of cases just the growth mindset, right? कि आपने शुरू किया, maybe आप work से जहाँ से भी, you reach to a certain point, but maybe you need to grow yourself as a leader as well, right? And as a society, we don't really want to accept this कि यार अच्छा हमने भी तो कमी हो सकती है. हम कहते हैं नहीं यार, बस क्रूजर V8 आ गई है, घर खरीद लिया.
बिल्कुल मैं वही अर्ज कर रहा हूँ ना कि वो माइंडसेट फिर आप इस तरह की सिचुएशन में एक्सपेक्ट करना कि जी खुद ही आपने अगर कल्चर बिल्डिंग पे अपनी टीम के फोकस नहीं किया, तो इस तरह के टाइम पे एक्सपेक्ट करना कि द पीपल इन योर टीम विल हैव एन ऑटोमेटिक affinity towards your clients, I think it's unfair. अगर वो affinity वो built in नहीं है उनके goals में right from day one, तो वो इस situation में कैसे build होगी? नहीं हो सकती ना वो. और वो कोई और तो करेगा नहीं आपके लिए. आप गवर्नमेंट से एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे जी गवर्नमेंट हमारे एम्प्लॉइज को फोर्स करे कि वो हमारे लिए काम करें घर से. या पाशा इन्फोर्स करे या कोई और, ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता ना. ये
बिल्कुल.
माइंडसेट शेपिंग तो कंपनी ने खुद ही करनी है. इसी पे आई वांट टू बी कॉग्निजेंट ऑफ टाइम. आई वांट बट चले आप सवाल पूछना है. आई वाज गोना टॉक अबाउट आवर focus on diversity. I want to make sure that I want to
That's
mention
my
that.
next question. That's my last question. So in terms of you talked about team culture and you know we've always said कि S&P में team culture बड़ा अच्छा है, बहुत focus किया जाता है team पे, and you personally serve as on the executive committee of the U.S Pakistan Women Council, which is a U.S. State Department initiative to empower women in the workplace and developing entrepreneurs. Right. So in terms of S&P's diversity initiative, in terms of your team culture, maybe you can highlight some of the initiatives and the work that you've been doing in this area.
G, thank you for the question. I think we, first of all, we have this global initiative called Change Pace, which basically takes our data and highlights how, uh, investing in diversity is not just a cliched thing. It actually proves with data and facts how it helps countries and companies deliver better financial performance. There's just, तो वो जमाना खत्म हो गया कि जी this is just a nice thing to do or a CSR. It is a proven way to enhance your productivity, enhance your financial returns, improve your top line, improve your bottom line. So एक तो ये बात है. Again, in the interest of time, I'll try to keep it as brief. दूसरा, uh, just to talk a little bit about S&P Global Pakistan and their efforts. So we, when in 2015, we had about 12% women in our workforce, and we took on the initiative that we will double this in the next 5 years. We've gotten to a point where we're at about 23, 24%. We're very confident that we'll be able to hit it. We'll get to 25%. As you mentioned, I also work with the State Department initiative of the U.S. Pakistan Women Council, which has launched an initiative called a Million Women Mentor, which aims to mentor 1 million women in Pakistan over 3 years. और उसमें S&P Global has pledged, S&P Global Pakistan has pledged that we will mentor 20,000 women. We try to focus on STEM skills, on employability skills, on enhancing, and within even that target, we want to bring women more towards technology roles. We've doubled the number of women that we had in technology roles. We've tried to provide the right frameworks for them to operate in the company. Even before, अभी तो सब घर से काम कर रहे हैं. Even before this, we had tried कि हम उनको opportunity दें घर से काम करने की. We have a 6 month maternity leave policy, obviously fully paid, which I think is. We also gave a 6 month paternity leave to people as well, so they can take. So I think having these infrastructures in place that support and enable women to work effectively in companies, especially in technology companies, and then also investing for organizations that can in developing these skill sets in women you are in universities so that they can become part of the workflow. मैं आपको बताता हूँ पिछले साल 2019 में we hired about 560 people, replacements plus new hires. इनमें से 37% were women. And we want to continue doing that as we proceed and as we move forward. And I really take this opportunity to encourage attendees who are women to reach out to. We definitely would love to look at you if you're potential candidates. At the same time, I would also like to encourage businesses. As I said earlier, go explore the data. It is not a nice to have thing anymore. It is proven to be something that will have a positive impact on your productivity, on your bottom line, on your top line.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for sharing these amazing initiatives. And just to add, I know we've done 1 minute over time. So just to add, we have around 250 speakers at this global summit. More than 50% of those happen to be women, right?
Excellent.
Which is our commitment to this initiative. So with this, I know that you have to run out as well, and this has been a fantastic conversation. I'm sure we'll have more conversations moving forward. क्योंकि इसमें बहुत से topics हैं which deserve an individual our
जी
on
जी
their own.
जी.
And thank you so much for joining us, Mujeeb.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.